The 21st century global economy look a lot different from the past decades. A new potential golden age could emerge if nurses across Africa are in touch with global realities, rejuvenated, positioned and empowered to dominate that space. This is why Prince Will Agedo, founder of Empower Nurses Consult, has gathered top minds, industry experts and thought leaders across Africa in a summit tagged The Emergence, remolding 21st century nurses as stakeholders of the contemporary global economy. Speaking at the event are Dr. Malvis Humphrey, CEO, London Professional Training Center; Toby Ali, new media consultant and peak performance coach; Julie Mogbo, principal consultant, Royal Nursing Consultant; Collins Ogbolu, executive director, Lead Nurse Africa International Foundation; Dr. Roland Ikwe, health tech strategist and entrepreneur; Victor Eze, executive director, 360-degree Health Network; Adenike Olakule, founder, Radical Evolution and Personal Transformation Academy; Oluwatobi Abiodun, founder, Njo Healthcare Services; Prince Will Agedo, the convener. Date 11 to 12th of June 2022. Time 7 p.m. West African Time daily. To book a seat, visit bit.ly/the-emergence-summit or contact on WhatsApp +234 706 9646143. The 21st
Okay, on to the very next session. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Really appreciate you. Thank you for joining us once again to this wonderful 21st century webinar taking place right here, probably brought to you by the Empower Nurses Consult. Okay, we'll be having another speaker right now in very few minutes. I'll be sharing my screen so that you get to know this speaker better. So please, if you can see my screen, do let me know. Please, the host, would you enable me to share my screen, please? Thank you. Host, please.
All right, please go ahead. Go ahead and share your screen, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, please.
Obinna Victor Ease is a global health advocate, Amazon best-selling author, international speaker, and founder of 360-degree Health Network. He graduated with a Bachelor of Nursing Science from the University of Port Harcourt. In health system in Nigeria. He was also awarded an honorary citizen of Boone, North Carolina. The mayor of Boone, professionally, days of his career as a registered nurse in Nigeria, Obinna has worked with hospital, health agencies, and in communities. He worked with the Ebonyi State Ministry of Health as a nurse educator in Ebonyi State College of Nursing Sciences, and overcame age and qualification-based boundaries to occupy the post of the college's Associate Dean of Studies before his resignation in 2022. He presently works with the biggest health trust in UK, Manchester University Foundation NHS Trust. Obinna's goal is to build a resilient healthcare delivery system across Africa that ensures millions of people living in vulnerable communities in Nigeria and other sub-Saharan African society gains access to low-cost quality health security. Featuring at the Emergence Summit 2022, introducing Obinna Victor Ease.
Okay. All right to you, sir. Mr. Obinna Eze Victor. Thank you very much. Over to you, sir.
Hello, good evening. I'm Obina Victor Eze. Thank you very much both. Hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yes, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, if you don't mind, you can just share the slide. You have it, right? Okay, while he's on that, let me just state that we have a very huge opportunity to make our end in our world today, despite what is happening in the international space. When I say what is happening in our space, maybe you're practicing a place where you're not getting it going for you financially, maybe struggling to get it academically. Just want to assure you that you're actually in the right track as far as you're engaging in gatherings like this, you're getting involved, you're putting your best forward. It might not look rosy initially, but with time, see all coming together. So this conference is about remolding. The conference is about remolding 21st century Nazis stakeholders for. Okay, I heard my voice break. Let me check if removing the earpiece works. Please just give me feedback. Is the voice still breaking, please?
I think you should tell.
What?
If you are not talking, you
Is the
cannot
voice still
accept it.
breaking?
No, it's a lot better now. It's a lot better now. It's a lot better now. Yes. Go on.
Can you guys hear
Say
me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So the conference is about remolding 21st century nurses as stakeholders for the contemporary global economy. Now, I decided to share a part of this topic that most of us would have had interest in some way or the other, which is nurses growing their platform to becoming stakeholders in the global economy through global health. Now, when I say global health, different from what you know, I might sound quite different from the public health you know, and all that. But if you be with me to the end of this summit, appreciate what I'm bringing in, and how you play your part to see that we grow our profession. Now, I will start by, next slide, please. I'll start by talking to us about global economics. We all know that global economics represents total of activities that promote industrial production, labor markets, financial markets, and resource allocation within a country and between different countries. Now, the increase in the migration of nurses into different countries and governments setting out targets on recruitment, such as in the UK, where 50,000 nurses are being targeted at, especially from overseas nurses to fill in the NHS by 2024. Nurses are, however, key professionals in contributing to the growth of most countries. Now, it's not just about you traveling to a country to go and practice nursing. It's not just about nursing in Ghana, in Nigeria, in UK, in Canada. You are actually contributing to the economy of that nation. You are actually playing your part to the global economy. All right. So not the large professional groups globally. You can argue that. Go check the stats. Nurses are actually the largest professional groups. I'm not talking about the medical profession. I'm talking about all other professions inclusive. However, nurses are in low and focused models to measure their impact. Yes, we are one of the highest, or we are the highest professional groups, but our impact is not yet felt in most economies. All right. Now, the contribution of nurses in most parts of the world seem to be a significant challenge where we ourselves, we are putting in the best to see that we get maximum results, but that impact is not felt. I will tell you the reason why. And you can stand in that position where you become a major player in developing global economies. One thing we should understand is that health out the economy of nations, and every matter that concerns social economic status and the population of every nation is a major interest and challenge of the government. You might think, okay, the government, they are there to manage the country's finances, they are there to manage the country's wealth, the country's fiscal policies, their GDPs and all that. But it will only take a healthy nation to make money. It will only take a healthy nation for other sectors of a specific economy to function. It therefore means that healthcare access impacts every aspect of human endeavors. We have maternal and child health, we have rates of preventable diseases, communicable diseases, employability, gender equality, workforce productivities, the trends of mortality and morbidity rates. These are all health related and they affect every other sector of our economies. Without optimum health, the citizens and other sectors of their economy will not perform. That's the truth. Without health, most governments would shut down. You can imagine what happened during COVID-19. I can't come here and be narrating that to you. We could see that most government economy practically shut down because of. Now, the impact of health impact was not that felt before now because we were having disease outbreak in nations that we may not really know what is happening with their economy. But it showed us that without a healthy nation, all other sectors of that nation suffers. So the role and function of nurses and nursing is linked to each and every one of these indicators. When I say indicators, I mean maternal and child health, morbidity and mortality rates, disease rates in each country, how each country survives based on the health country. Function of link to each and every one of these indicators. And with nurses having significant capacity to positively impact health outcomes. Now, increasingly, governments are looking to the nursing workforce as a means of their health demands. Now, for instance, World Health Organization launches a program, they would look for people in the healthcare field to implement on that project. Nurses are one of the key persons or key professional people WHO look up to as vehicles to drive every program they launch. And we all know WHO is an offset or an organization of United Nations, right? So every economy relies on the health sector to function optimally. Or the biggest professionals in the healthcare sector, they are the vehicles that drives health system. Now follow me, I know where I'm driving to, just follow me keenly, please. Now nurses have a diverse global health workforce, and nursing having just a diverse global health force is just a step. It's just the first step. Next slide, please. I've way past here. Please help me with the next slide. The next one, please. Yep. No, back, sorry. Back, please educate us. The next one. Okay, just sorry, we just need to get it right with the slides so we can all follow. The next one. Okay, yeah. So nurses are in the position to us, which I'm about to ask now. How can you grow your platform to become a major stakeholder contributing to the global economy? Just like I said before, embracing inclusion in the global health space involves us knowing that one indicators which are billions in finance and human resources into health systems. And nurses are powerful resources the government needs to make sure they drive this health system. The next thing we should understand is that governments, they are looking at nurses as a workforce to grow its health economy. So the question that is important to us now is, how can you grow your platform to become a major stakeholder contributing to the global economy? Nurses can influence and become policymakers. Yes, we can become change agents, we can politicians. This simply by strengthening 13 targets and 28 indicators of the Sustainable Development Goal 3. Now, sometimes I will tell us that if as a person who is intentional, you should know about the Sustainable Development Goals. And when it comes to the health space, for those of us who are medic, Goal 3 provides us with is become whatsoever you want to become in the health space. Goal 3 has about 13 targets and 28 indicators. You can go look that up. It's not just about providing good and equitable healthcare for all. It has 13 targets, it has 28 indicators that you can key into and project your own work from your own tiny space. Now, each nurse finding a commitment around the goals and providing targeted solutions consistently is key for us to contribute into the global economy. Next slide. Next. Yeah, I'm done with this. Yeah. So WHO, no, don't worry, it's okay. Now, WHO designating 2020 as the year of the nurses and midwife is to acknowledge the role of nurses globally. Now, you may say, okay, we've passed 2020, we are now in 2022 and all that. But if you are intentional, you can still key into that dream WHO has for nurses. You understand? Nurses, they are key when it comes to tackling communicable and non-communicable diseases, reducing adverse health effects, and all that. What you should understand is that global health is an important aspect of public policy. What do I mean by that? We cannot separate global policies. It is the tool biggest economies use to grow their nations globally. You cannot, for instance, think of the strength of UK government without thinking of the NHS. NHS is a government-owned service they use to health for its population, and they use it as a powerful tool for governance. You cannot think of Obama's administration without thinking of Obamacare, which he called Affordable Care Act. It is a public, it is not something separate from health. It is a law that was enacted that he was using to drive his own government. All right. So you can't necessarily separate public policy from global health. Now, if you check most of the curriculum of advanced schools in the UK, in the US, you will see them taking up courses such as global public policy. You see them taking courses such as global health and governance, public policy governance. These are all areas of global health concerned with decision making. So when I say global health, I don't mean global health is that associates are governed and how their health decisions are being made. So how can we as nurses become stakeholders, global health advocates, global health practitioners? It's about we studying public health in school. It is about us putting actions into work. Having this mindset will help us to understand how our work contributes only in the health sectors, but also in policy, education, economic relations, and environmental activism. The world in a broader context. Now, what I mean by that is not just about you working in the healthcare sector. If you must be part of the global operating health from public health. Public health is you solving problems when it comes to health, right? But you provide solutions in communities, you contribute meaningfully to healthcare, all right? But global health, hello? Someone said something. Okay, you standing you can make me, all right? So nurses have that professional obligation to understand the world in a broader context. It begins by understanding the policies and politics of globalization. It doesn't end with you just practicing in the healthcare sector. Do you know, as you're practicing in the healthcare sector, do you know about health acts, health policies, how different enactments in different sectors that relates to health is affecting the economy, budgets when it comes to health, the GDP of your nation, how healthcare indices are affecting that GDP for your country. Just practice in the health sector without having these figures or without being aware of these things, because those are actually the things or the factors that will put you in a good place to benefit from the global economy. Now, we have a problem. Can we move the slide? I think it would have been better if I had control to the slide. No, the previous one, yeah. We have a problem, and the problem is that nursing is seriously underrepresented in major global health spaces. And this has a negative impact on global health. Now, you check most global health spaces where policies are being made, where policies are being formulated, you see the medics. I don't like this comparison anyway. You see the doctors, scientists, you see pharmacists because of maybe NAFDAC and Food and Drug Administration for America and other countries. You see them playing their part actively in those spaces, but nurses most times are lacking in those spaces. It's not as if they don't need your impact or your input. It is because we are not putting our best foot forward. So the lack of a strong global nursing voice is one of the manifestations of it. Strong voices come countries, indigenous people, and young people like us. Yes, so many of us, I don't know the ideology we have about the profession. I don't want to talk as if bedside nursing is not it. Bedside is ideal nursing, right? But outside that, can you go back and think about Florence Nightingale, the Florence Nightingale we so much adore or we so much preach about? She wasn't just that woman or that nurse who was taking care of the soldiers during the Crimean Wars, go back and read her research work. You see that she made policies. She was a statistician that affected how the Crimean War progressed. All right. She told them that this is what is causing the death of soldiers. Look at what we can do. Let's provide them with a safe environment. That is she making a policy that would affect the war and affect the economy of that nation. Many nurses make a naive assumption about health and healthcare and do not view these issues through socio-political lens. Most of us, we are far from being political. We need to understand some history and politics if we want to be leaders that brings about change and global innovations. Next slide, please. So now, being nurses, we should be in that space where we consider active participation in global health as a means to an end for our professional growth. All right. Remember, just like I said earlier, maybe you didn't get that. I said that trying to bring to your notice how you can key into global health as a nurse to strategically position you to benefiting from the global economy. Reason being that global health is that force that merges medical practice and politics. Global health is that force that merges medical practice and policy making and governance. So if you as a nurse, as a healthcare worker can key into this space, you will be at a very good position to benefit from the global economy. You'll be at a very good space, maybe not functioning actively as a politician, but you'll be at a very good space where you make policies that affect the nation, that affect health budgeting, that affects the GDP of your nation, and you benefit from it. So why is it important for nurses to be major players in the global economy through global health? It is for 4 strategic reasons, and one of it is influence. Governance is a means to changing societies through public policies. If, for instance, Atiku becomes our next president, he cannot function well if he doesn't sign policies from the Senate, from the House of Rep. His regime or his government will not function well if he doesn't sign those policies. So if you're in this space through global health, changing and driving public policies, it provides you with an access to governance, which is a means to changing societies through public policies. The health sector is one of the most relevant parts of governance. I stress this because I want it to sink. The healthcare sector is one of the most relevant parts of governance. Maybe we are not aware of that before now. So outside influence, another reason why we should be key players in global health systems is platform growth. The nursing workforce is a diverse community. We said we are the biggest healthcare professionals, not just in medical practice, but all other professionals. We are the biggest healthcare, we are the biggest professionals globally. The nursing workforce is diverse. It is a community that is diverse. Several platforms can be strengthened around the profession. All right. If you're someone who have researched nurses who are doing great in their spaces, you will see that it's not just one person doing something that every other person is doing. It is different people doing different things in different aspects, in different niches. You can grow your own platform if you are intentional about it. You should look out for is visibility. Nurses are at the center of healthcare decision and should be more intentional about showing up. You have an idea. Would that idea die with you because you're thinking of so many other persons, your colleagues would say, people in your work area would say, you just die with that idea. You have an idea about how to manage a diabetic patient. You're keeping quiet about that idea because you think the medical doctors are the ones who have that sole right to make those decisions in your workplace. outside visibility, outside you standing up, outside you putting your heads out, it would also provide you with an avenue for wealth creation. Global health is a key component that drives most global economies. As I have explained earlier, this wealth can also be created beyond the bedside. So clinical practice is not the only place where you create wealth as a nurse. You can create wealth while in the boardroom. If you can manage a patient in the hospital, in the wards, it means you can also manage the finance, you can also manage decision-making in the boardroom of your workplace or of a health system or of a country, all right? Now, how can nurses build a formidable platform? Now, this is me now. If you want to build a formidable platforms, I'm looking at each and every one of us as if we are just starting out. We are just starting out. We've not been there. We've not been exposed to global health, to public policies. We are all just there at the foundation level. How can we start? You should consider thinking globally and acting locally. Think globally and act locally. What do I mean by this? You should utilize global competence in implementing your work locally. Now, when I talk of you engaging in global health, when I talk of global economies, I don't mean that you must have traveled outside your country. I don't mean you must have Japan to UK, to US, to Canada. No. This is where it comes in. You can create your own impact from any community, from any country you find yourself. That is what makes you globally. So it starts with you thinking globally, but putting your actions locally. For instance, for myself, I'm in the UK now. I can still think globally and act locally. What do I mean? I can start up a small group here in the UK that advocates for better care for the elderly disease, all right? Because I know globally there is a global body this, and management is not there, all right, when it comes to patients with Parkinson's disease. So I can start acting locally while thinking globally. So thinking globally was a mantra by a Scottish planner and conservationist, Patrick Geddes, and it was one of the actions or mantra that played a key role in climate action and embodies the idea that instead of waiting for grand breakthroughs, when you've achieved a lot, when everybody's clapping in that good stage, in that beautiful stage, instead of waiting for grand breakthroughs to fix the world, it is better you implement on little things in your own environment. Global thinking offers thinking routines that foster understanding of today's globalized world. Think globally, act locally. It will provide you with the mindset to consider the health of the entire planet and to take leadership actions in your own community, wherever you are. What are you doing? It might just be you going out for a health outreach, posting the videos, posting the pictures online for people to see that you're playing your own part when it comes to SDG 3. Think about WHO. WHO, they are more interested to support the work of health workers and volunteers who are working in local populations, communities in far Uganda, Guinea, Wuhan. They are more interested in these smaller communities compared to a well-established healthcare worker, for instance, who is maybe in Washington, DC, or in Silicon Valley. Your local community needs more of your action compared to the global stage you're looking at. Your impact will be felt more from that smaller unit you occupy. Now, starting out, I would always ask myself, how would I build a platform that gets the attention of global health forces? One person I studied was Otto Ottodam. He's the founder of Slum to Slum to School, where he provides children in slums water aside with education, provide them with school uniform, books, and all that. From that little slum, he was playing his own part. Government officials, organizations, companies still found him and sponsored his work. All right. So start by thinking globally, but act locally. To get global opportunities, you have to intensify the impact of your work locally. Let me come again. To get global opportunities, you have to intensify the impact of your work locally. Work at a community level and document the impact of your work online or using a social media platform. All right. Now, the next thing you have to do, number 2, is to define your area of expertise. Define your area of expertise. Your area of expertise can be determined by what I term gig. All right. Now, you've heard somebody say, this guy, this is the gig he's working on. Okay. We know that expertise is gotten via mastery. If you master something very well, you become an expert at it. For instance, now, someone like Prince Will, he has mastered how to communicate his ideas or the idea of a progressive nursing to nurses. He has mastered it. You can wake him up anytime and he will give you results when it comes to defining the right pathway for young nurses. And definitely we all know he's an expert in that field and he is benefiting from it. So you must gain mastery in whatsoever you're doing when it comes to you defining your own niche. So how can you do that through gig? First of all, you can either be a genius, that is G. G, those acronyms there, you can either be a genius, and it's not every one of us who is a genius. You can only find geniuses in people like Bill Gates. Maybe you're a genius in your own right, but can you compare your own genius with that of Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, and all that? We are waiting for you to show us the level of your own gifting and talent. Now, if being a genius or if being gifted or talented doesn't work for you, you can be experienced. Your years of experience, you've been working in HIV ward clinics, you've been working in TB clinics, you've been working in surgical wards, you've been working in communities for so many years, but you can't find a solution to problems in that same community. So another way to become an expert is when you are experienced. If you're experienced in any niche, think about it. How can you profit from that niche? How can you profit from the global economy? How can you announce yourself to the world as an expert in that place where you have so much experience? Then the next E in gig is educational qualification. We have so many certifications. So many of us, we are getting diplomas, we are getting educational qualifications and licensing, we are getting degrees. This is another way to stand out. The last one, K, is to be knowledgeable or have a wealth of information about a subject matter. You can dominate when it comes to any subject matter in the world. What will it take you? Just go online. YouTube videos are there. Ask people who have taken that part, get mentors, and you will see yourself standing out when it comes to that particular area of expertise. Then the third one is seek out for opportunities. I would always tell you that one opportunity outside your immediate environment or comfort zone can change your life forever. One opportunity, just one opportunity. Just imagine you get an opportunity of tomorrow, you get an opportunity of having a meeting with President Obama, Trump, Bill Gates. Mention them. Pedro, the director of WHO. Imagine what that one single meeting would do for your career. If you've positioned yourself like someone who thinks globally and acts locally, you've identified your area of expertise, the next thing for you to do is to start seeking out for opportunities. Where is it happening? Which conference am I attending? Which network am I joining? Who am I calling? Who am I sending mails to? What opportunities am I applying to? These are what I actually did to stand out. Immediately I started my organization because I started thinking locally, I started thinking globally and acting locally. I moved from Port Harcourt and went to a village in Delta State just to launch my community health project, because Delta State has some of the slums, because my initiative was to capture the south part of Nigeria, and Delta State was one of the regions for me. I left the higher paying job I was doing in Port Harcourt then, and went to Delta State. I started my project. Before I knew it, it got the attention of the government. I had to implement on a project with the Delta State Commission that deals with insurance policies for the Deltans. All right, because I started out by identifying what I want, and I started seeking out for opportunities. With the years going by, just a conference. In that conference, I got a contact that provided me with funding for so many other projects I did. These people, they are asking you, what do you have to offer? Who have trusted you with this, your craft? If you've had so many persons trusting you with your craft, it will not be difficult for people to listen to you and for them to want to support you. The next thing you would have to engage in is to get involved. Feel confident to network with other stakeholders. It's not about you saying, okay, I want to create my impact in the global health space. I want to earn from the global economy. I want to stand out and all that. Are you getting involved, or are you just in your comfort zone? It is left for you to make your research and apply. If you meet eligibility criteria for so many opportunities, go for it. You will get rejections. I'm not saying it won't come. You would get several rejections. All right. The second E in gig is expertise, right? I have the first E is, the second E is experience, sorry. The first is genuine experience, educational qualification, and knowledge. Once you get that right, you would identify your own niche. So many persons will say, okay, please, it's hard for me. Now, you can also use this to identify your passion. Some persons will say, oh God, I'm a nurse. I love writing. I love doing this. I love doing that. I love doing that. I love speaking. I can't just identify my passion. Now, with this, you can actually identify that key area you are good at. Then you look at the SDG 3 and see how you can link them all together. Even as someone in the health space, you can also invest into education. Let me say you're dealing with reproductive health. Why not start teaching us about how to become a reproductive health expert, or details when it deals with reproductive health? With your consistency, people will come to recognize you. An opportunity comes as it relates to reproductive health, you will definitely be the first person that those in that space, those stakeholders will look up to implement on most of the programs they will be launching. Because truth be told, WHO director cannot move down from wherever he is, wherever their headquarters is, to countries like Uganda, countries like Morocco, countries like the Middle East, Asia, to implement on projects. So they are actually looking for individuals like you. You don't need to allow the medics, the medical doctors, to be the ones taking up these opportunities. They are looking out for nurses as vehicles to drive their policies. Millions to billions of funding in dollars is being allocated to fund public and global health projects in underserved communities. But the issue is that, who are we going to trust with this money? You will see them sending someone from the US to come and implement on a project in Uganda. You see United Nations want to implement on the project, they will send people with resources, plane would drop them, aircraft will drop them to come and implement on a project in your own land, all right? But you in that local community can stand out to tell them that this is what I do, I understand this space, I understand this community, and I can be trusted to implement on this project. And they will trust you as far as they've seen that your workspace shows you are doing it right, you're getting it right with that particular field or with that particular endeavor. So what are the most critical challenges holding African nurses back from going global? What are the critical challenges? Why is it that we just need that avenue where we can all go global, we can all get it right, we can all put our best foot forward, but these challenges keep getting us back. Remember, when I say going global, I don't mean you leaving Nigeria, traveling to go and practice in UK. You can be in UK, you can be in US, and you are still local. All right? Traveling, leaving your country to another doesn't make you, they will say international practicing nurses, yes, because you're from another country practicing in that country. But when it comes to impacting on healthcare system, you can be in any country and provide global solutions. You can still be in any country and you still be acting local. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to leave your country for you to be a global force. So what are these challenges? We have personal factors such as inferiority complex. Okay, so when I started up my organization, 360-degree Health Network, I would go to hospitals, I would speak with CMDs, I would speak with CMACs, tell them about projects I'm running in communities. They would ask me, are you a medical doctor? The answer is no, I'm a nurse. Okay, but so many of us in that space, you feel so much inferior that you cannot even approach the office of the CNO, the Chief Nursing Officer, in a ward to tell them this is what you plan doing. Inferiority complex is one thing that have killed us as a professional body. Low self-esteem and lack of an impact background. When I say background, you're given an opportunity to make a huge impact. Maybe you've sought out for opportunities, they've provided you with funding, or they want to provide you with funding, but they just want you to provide an evidence that you've been doing this thing over time. You will see that you don't have any results. You don't have any impact background in your slate to implement on that policy, okay, or on that program. If WHO comes to that and say, okay, we want to provide medical supplies to people in Nigeria, and we are looking for a nursing workforce to collaborate with to do this, they will now start surfing online. All right, they will Google young nurses who are working on community projects in Nigeria. They will start seeing names of maybe Prince Wee when he gave out medical supplies during COVID. They will now start seeing him, how he collaborated with Nurses Association in the US and all that. They will trust him more. Okay, my time is up, so let me just round up. So other general factors are educational background and training that are not globally relevant, lack of mentorship and guidance, which we all know is a problem. Okay, so we can all stand out to benefit from the global economy if we adapt the culture of thinking globally, if we get the needed skills, if we get involved, if we shun inferiority complex, and if we recognize the fact that we too can become experts outside what we define as nursing, and engage more in global health, knowing that global health is not public health. Global health is the aspect of medical health that deals with making policies that affect global economies. All right. So once we can understand this and put it into action, we will be in that stage in our life. We'll be at the best position to benefit from global economies. So my time is up. Yes, I guess. So thank you all for listening. If there are any questions, you can start popping in your questions. I will be glad to answer them.
Okay, thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful session. Please, if you have any questions, please kindly pen them down in the comment section. So there are a few questions here for you, sir. The very first question, what is the difference between a global nurse and an international nurse?
Okay, I would go from the light of international practicing nurse. Yeah, so most health systems, such as the NHS, they need nurses, they will recruit from other countries and all that. So you are an international practicing nurse, right? Then if you ask me, global health or a global nurse is someone who provides solutions that impact on healthcare systems globally. All right? You can be an advocate. You can be someone, for instance, someone who advocates for better climate policies. That person is a global voice when it comes to climatic change or climates. You understand? So you can be a global health advocate. You can be working on reproductive health, you can be working on HIV, you can be working on genetics. As far as you're playing your part when it comes to a problem that is globally relevant, you are working on a global space. It doesn't matter if you're working from Wuhan, China. It doesn't matter if you're working from your own village. It means you're even working remotely. You are playing your part. International practice nurse, you travel to another country, maybe Ghana, maybe Cameroon, to go and practice as a nurse. It mustn't be the UK.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Amazing answer. Okay, another question, sir. What are the postgraduate courses nurses should be looking at to become global nurses?
Now, when it comes to becoming global nurses, I know I mentioned education as one of the things that would stand you out as an expertise. Okay, but if I'm to tell you the truth, why not just go by the route of impact? Why not just make impact? Degrees, why not just make impact? Go into communities, provide them with solutions. You are already a nurse. Why then do you? I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm doing 2 masters. Okay, I'm doing master in public health and masters in education. You can also get the degrees, but if you want to stand out, you need to show results. Results are what makes you stand out, not paper degrees. Paper degrees will give you the qualification, to give you the experiences, but those experiences soiling your hands and public stand out, please.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, another question. What are the top skills required to remodeling our career as stakeholders for the contemporary global economy? Do I take that again?
Yeah, please.
Okay. What are the top skills required to remodeling our career as stakeholders for the contemporary global economy?
Okay, top skills required is you have to develop the habit of networking. All right. Everything starts and ends with leadership. That's another thing you have to consider. Network with other stakeholders. Now, if you're in Nigeria, we have Nigerian Health Watch. They hold conferences, like they hold summits. You have other Society of Family Health, they hold summits. You go to this event, you engage with people there, you think of what they are working on, collaborate with them. Collaboration is another thing you have to develop as a skill. All right, your ability to develop, to collaborate with people, network with people, develop leadership skills, solve problem solving. Okay, now clinical practice, you're solving a problem, all right, but there are other problems in your community that relates to health. Solve problems, be a leader, that person who stands out and say, okay, I am the one going to provide the solution to this. So those are some of the skills you would have to develop to put your best foot forward to getting ahead.
Okay, another question from the comment section said, I had an NGO in Nigeria before coming to the United Kingdom. Now,
Okay.
I'm not settled yet. Do I grow that to continue to influence my locality?
So you have to, you don't have to work alone. You must have had people you were working with. You can manage your organization from anywhere in the world. That's what makes you stand out as a leader. If you're a leader, you're the one that founded that organization, you've provided effective leadership. It means that you can also be at that stage where that leadership will speak for you anywhere you are. I know sometimes it becomes very difficult. Yes, I'm also experiencing it. But if you've done your background work, if you've had people who trusted you with what you're doing, who have that same vision, you must have identified them during the course of your stay in Nigeria. You keep working with them, okay? Just keep working with them from anywhere you are. You can also start your organization here. It might look difficult, but it's not. Someone just registered, the merchant nurse I know he registered his organization here, if I'm not mistaken. You can also ask questions and know how to go about it.
Another question, sir. Please,
yeah.
What can you say about an interest in advocating for adequate nutrition from the local to the global space? And what are the global bodies that can support this advocacy?
Okay, let me start with the global bodies. I have a contact from India. She's a One Young World ambassador. She deals something related to nutrition. Maybe you send me a message, I will link you to her. Now, some time ago, she wanted to partner with my organization to provide vitamin A to indigenes in Calabar and Cameroon. Yeah, she was specific about Calabar. So it didn't really pull through at the end of the day. But she operates an organization called Every Infant Matter. She's big in India. She's a medical doctor anyway. So if you want to focus on nutrition, get a target group. A good target group is children. Look at the work UNICEF is doing when it comes to nutrition for children. All right. If you can identify a key target point when it comes to the work UNICEF is doing, it will provide you with a basis to start up your own initiative.
Okay, let's take another one. All right. What can you suggest platforms or communities to be a part of to network with people in the impact space?
Okay, I can only suggest the one I belong to and so many others. Now, first of all, if you want to get information about global opportunities, just like I said earlier, you must have been doing your background work. You must have been providing solutions to problems. Okay, so if you want to get global opportunities, you can use opportunitydesk.org. It's a Nigerian-owned online sphere, but they've gone global with their findings when it comes to helping you get opportunities globally. Then organizations you can use to amplify your impact. You have the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Application will be on very soon. Now, Mandela Washington Fellowship provides you with an avenue as an African leader. It is one of the most outstanding fellowships for young African leaders. It provides you with a platform to amplify the impact of your work to the United States government. Now, after you become a Mandela Washington Fellow, they will provide you with a platform to get funding, a platform to collaborate with other experts in the US and in Nigeria to project your work. Another one is the Atlas Cup Fellowship. Atlas Cup Fellowship, you can go look that up. I was a semi-finalist, but I didn't pull through. It provides you with an avenue to amplify the impact of your work in the US. They would sponsor you, you come to the US, you gain experiences in specific workspaces. Let me say American Red Cross Society, you work with them for a full year, you come back to Nigeria and implement on what you've learned over the course of the month. Mandela Washington Fellowship does that too, but it is just for 6 weeks and all that. Then another one is One Young World, is also a community of globally relevant young persons who are making changes in their communities, who are providing solutions in their communities. Now, it's not related to healthcare, it is just diverse niches. Now, one thing you should target is you're working in the health space, you can see someone working in the educational space, you guys can actually collaborate. Let me say you're providing a health solution to a community and you need someone in the educational space to bring awareness to these communities through education. You guys can collaborate and that impact will be felt. It's not just you collaborating. These organizations, their founders or their managers, Mandela Washington Fellowship is being financed and managed by the US government. They can also support any initiative you're launching in Nigeria or any country you're domiciled in Africa. So these are a few of them. Opportunitydesk.org, you get information about opportunities, scholarships, grants, and all that.
Okay, let's have one more final question, sir. Although someone's requesting that we put up the list of everything you've listed, so we'll send it across to them, probably in the waiters group chat here. Okay, one more question, sir. How do we create results if we haven't had any programs in the past? And what's the best way to choose a mentor?
Okay, how to create results? Yeah. You want to say something?
No, you just continue the question. So what's the best way to choose a mentor and how best can you gain access to these people?
Okay, how to create results is actually by creating results, all right? Now, you can't, application process for most of these opportunities are tough because they are looking for the very best. In the whole of Africa, 100 Africans, 700 in the whole of Africa. So imagine the amount of work you will put in place to get there. Now, this is not me discouraging you. This is me telling you that you need to get to work. You need to start working. You need to amplify the impact of your work. You need to tell the world, this is what I'm doing. You need to tell them that you need help. You're providing a solution that is relevant in a community. Now, it's not just you launching a community health outreach. I'm using myself for an instance. If I go into a community to launch an outreach, I involve the elders, I write letters, we meet them, several meetings. They will say, okay, we have social thing to give out to you guys to support you and all that. I involve hospitals around. I told you guys that I've had meetings with CMD, CMAX, doing community health projects and all that. So these are the ways you can actually start. Once you've started, you start getting little results, which I said act locally, but your mindset is global. The more you're increasing the impact of your work, you're having numbers. Now, this is with the respect numbers. You understand? I can come up and said during COVID-19, I provided 20,000 PPEs to hospitals, 5 hospitals in Nigeria. During in 2016, I worked with the Delta State government to provide free health services to over 20,000 people in Delta State. These are figures they are getting. You understand? They might not go back to time and say, when were you doing it? But you're giving them figures, you're giving them video clips, you're giving them social media feeds, online platforms. They are showing the impact of your work over time. They would listen to you. Okay? Then when it comes to mentorship, I would always say mentorship is like a parenting process. You don't just say, please be my mentor. That is why 1,001 people, I reject their offers for me to mentor them. Because it's like I'm breathing into you. I'm breathing my energy into you. It may not be you becoming like me, but I'm trying to bring out the best in you. I'm giving birth to something that is ideal in you, the best of you. I want to birth a new you. So it is a parenting process. You know, the parenting process is stressful. A child who is trying to walk falls many times, gets into the debt. You as a parent, you watch the child up, the child gets back into it. It's stressful. So you yourself be ready for it. Identify that person who knows that you are ready for it, and it will align. If the person is ready to take you up, it will align. But you want someone to be your mentor, and that person is not saying you're not ready for it. You want someone to be your mentor, you've not even read a book written by that person. That question you want that person to answer might just be in the book he or she has written. All right. So we should try as much as we can to get ready for mentorship before seeking for mentors.
Okay, that's a very great one. Get ready for mentorship before seeking for mentors. Okay, it's actually very, very nice, and it's been a really, very wonderful opportunity. So, do you have room for one more question, sir? Or do you have
I'm ready for 10. You guys don't have the time, but I do.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. The audience have been thrilled right now, and it's been a very wonderful session. Now, another question: how do you get to work if you can't find the right mentor and research for your goal, but you are sure of it?
Okay, now there are so many ways to get the attention of people. Okay, there are so many ways. Just like I said, you buy their book. That is just one way. You may not necessarily buy their book. You don't have the money to buy their book. I'm not saying you should rob the bank to buy their book. There are so many ways. We are all humans. We have this emotional part of us. These people, they have where they congregate. Like, for instance, I needed someone to coach me, Emeka Novice. Then I was just into writing as someone. I've not published my book. I needed him to coach me. I went to a meeting where he was attending. That was a neuro-linguistic programming. I never needed that program, but I knew Emeka Novice would be there. All right, I had to attend. Do you know what I did? I took 1,000 naira. I went to Emeka Novice. Emeka Novice will always talk about his son on social media. I went to him and said, okay, please use this 1,000 and buy Indomie for your son. Okay, I gave him that money. I went home. For the next 6 weeks, I didn't engage with her. It was just online. He would post, I would see comments. But my name already made an impact. When he sees my Immediately he sees my comments on his post, he replies immediately. I send him a DM, he replies immediately, because I've touched a soft spot. Who comes to you on a conference and gives you money to buy Indomie for your child? So when I told Emeka Nobis, please coach me in this aspect, it wasn't very hard for him to accept, because he knows that I've been within his space. I've assisted him with some. This assistant can be, it must not be you giving money. It might be you just volunteering. Obina Victor Eze is launching a project in Nigeria. And so let me volunteer as part of one of the volunteers for this project. Human resource, you've provided a solution. Next time you come to Obina Victor and say, yeah, sir, I'm having this challenge. He will drop everything he's doing and attend to you, because he knows that you are solution oriented. You've given in your best, and if you're given that opportunity, you will do more. Okay?
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, another question, sir. Please, I hope you're all following those that are these questions. Hope you're getting your right answers. Another question is young nurses make when seeking for mentorship?
Do you people want me to go into this thing? When you know we have more of females. I don't know if we are aware of this, but I know it's happening. Like now, when people seek for mentorship, you have one of the things, I'm not now talking about the mentees, I'm talking even about the mentors. When you have females, more of females seeking for mentorship from you, sometimes from mentorship, it enters into friendship and so many things goes in between. It might not be things happening physically, but the discussion and the communication derails. Okay, so please come back with the question. Sorry, come back with the question. You're muted.
Okay, the question, it says seeking for mentorship.
Okay, the mistake young persons make,
yes.
Forget whatever I've said.
It's okay.
The mistake young persons the mistake young persons make while seeking for mentorship is most times they don't have, from my own experience, they don't have a full grasp of what they want. Like I've seen young nurses come to me for mentorship because they see what I post online. They just want that stage. But when you now tell them what to do, to get there, they will never call you back. So that is a mistake. Lack of consistency is a mistake. I've accepted to be your mentor, but you are not consistent, which is why I said it is a parenting process. I will scold you. If I say submit this project at so time and you don't submit it, I would scold you. You get, I might not use harsh words to scold you, but I would say words that, not harsh words, please. I would say words, detailed words that would either motivate you to get back to work or to give up. You understand? I might tell you, are you sure you are ready for this? Are you sure this? I would say, I'm not sure you actually want to achieve this. Now, it takes someone who is matured psychologically to either fire on or to give up. So many persons would give up, and so many persons have been giving up. So lack of consistency is a mistake nurses make when it comes to seeking out for mentorship.
Okay, lack of consistency. All right, I think that's the best we can take of this. I know if we decide to go on and on and on, you're a full basket of wisdom and a full basket of knowledge. So definitely we're always going to get more stuff and more and more and more from you. So thank you very much. We really do appreciate your wonderful session.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, sorry. This one is actually a very important one. I just came in just now, and someone's pleading that I asked the question. Okay, so please let's buy your time again. All right, let us start from your oil of wisdom. Okay, now some of us have certain ideas and some of us have plans. Now, how do we move from these plans to actions? Like, how do we implement our plans?
I'm also there. Like, I'll be sincere with you guys. Like, I'm there. At that point where I have these so many points, I have these so many things I want to achieve, but I'm not just focusing on it. Sometimes it seems as if I'm doing so many things at once. Okay. Now, don't forget the reason why you decided to do that. Don't forget the reason why you started. What's the reason why you started? It might just be you feeding your ego. I want to be recognized. That is visibility I talked about. You want to be visible. So channel it into the positive light to make you fuel that passion or make you fuel that goal. Just identify the benefits for yourself. What makes you go to work every day? What makes me get up and go to work? I'm working now with NHS because I need to work now, not that I'm working for a longer time. But what makes me go to work is not because I like what I'm doing now, but it's because there is something in for me at the end of the day. Okay? So once I feel that challenge, getting up from bed to go to work, it is same with each and every one of us who is working. You get, some of us, we are doing stressful work roles. But once maybe you remember the salary, maybe you remember the impact, maybe you remember there is someone, a colleague who you like spending our time with at work, it will make you like, so if you have a goal, if you have a passion, get that clue, that fuel, that thing that fuels it, try to identify it. Once you identify it, it will be an avenue for you to keep pushing on. Okay? You can use that also to deal with a habit. If you have a very bad habit, now procrastination is one thing that can make you not to achieve your goals. If you have a habit of procrastination, identify that thing that fuels that procrastination and try to deal with it first. If it's sleeping, if it's watching Netflix, you delete it from your phone. Deal with the problem first, then you head to the goal.
Okay. Now, one more. Another question. Now, everybody knows Sir Obinna Victor Eze. I mean, even someone who just steps into the profession today, even someone who just picks up the School of Nursing form or just gets admission into the university to study nursing science or anything related to nursing, already knows the great Mr. Obinna Victor Eze. Now, you are a global leader and you are already a global nurse. So what challenges did you face in becoming a global nurse and how did you overcome these challenges?
Okay, one of the challenges I would say I faced is pushing through the doors, like pushing those doors. It was quite difficult for me. Like starting out, when I started applying for opportunities, I've had all opportunities. Like I've had fellowship, I've spoken in conferences internationally, I have a scholarship, I've won grants, I've won award, I've won citizenship in North Carolina. So for me, I would say I've gone 360, but it took me so many nights, sleepless nights. All right, sleepless nights. I was in Nigeria then. I used to burn fuel. I'll stay awake. I'll write applications. As I'm writing one application, my email is beeping. I used to check my mails approximately every 20 minutes each day. Like once the way you go, do you know the way you pick your phone and you just scroll and enter Facebook, scroll and enter WhatsApp, come back Twitter? That is the way I scroll to my mail to get rejections. So many rejections. But the issue is that with that consistency, with the rejections, the way they are coming, I was actually understanding how these people operate, what they need from me. I told you these guys, they like figures. Who are the target audience that these solutions you're providing are meeting? So you don't just start, let me say you're working on providing HIV assistance or HIV care support to HIV patients. You don't just say, this is what I do. That was where your target audience are. You understand? So I had to understand how they operate because of these so many failures. And once I understood it, it was not difficult for me to start penetrating. Once I see an application, I know what they actually want from me. So many persons will open an application, they will see 10 questions. They're already tired of answering those questions. It took me so many nights to fix this. It took me sleepless nights. So I think that was one of the challenges I faced until I learned the process.
Okay, that's very great. Thank you very much. Really truly light to all our questions today. Now, before you round up or give us your final closing remarks, please, could you leave us with your social media handles so that we can connect with you on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and the rest of them?
Okay, Facebook is eze.victorobinna. Eze dot, can you help me type it?
Yeah,
Eze dot Victor Obina.
Okay.
Eze dot Victor Obina. Then Twitter is at I am.
Okay.
At I am. Guy, I keep forgetting this thing. Don't mind me. I'm not. At I am Eze Victor.
It's all right. It's all right.
At I am Eze Victor. Then Instagram, I don't do much of Instagram. It's a Victor Obina, but if you send me a message, I will get it anyway.
It's a Victor Obina.
Then my email is victorezeobina@gmail.com.
Sorry, come again, sir.
victorezeobina@gmail.com.
Okay. That's ready. gmail.com. Okay, no problem. So thank you very much, sir. Just give us your final words of conclusion or anything you'd like to chip in before you call it.
Now, I would give a final remark when it comes specific to this topic, and that is, when I was in the university, I was non-sub president of my chapter Uniport. I told my secretary, who later became the president, that in nursing, I want to create an impact that will be felt outside of nursing. All right. So that is the same thing I'm telling each and every one of us. Create an impact felt in nursing, but create an impact that is felt outside of nursing, which is also one of the reasons why I choose the topic global health, because it deals with making of policies in government, governance, public policies. All right. Try to create an impact. If you're creating an impact in nursing, let it also be felt outside of nursing. You understand? Let those who are in leadership positions get to know about what you're doing. The Queen of England had to honor some nurses a few weeks back who are really creating impacts in NHS and all that. I don't know the yardstick they used in doing that. Some Nigerian nurses got through that award and all that. So now this is you working as a professional nurse, but your impact is being felt by the monarch of Great Britain. You get, so not just you telling us, okay, this is how to do wound dressing. Clinical practice is good though. Not you telling us this is how to go about it when it comes to managing the health systems in a hospital or your workspace. Others who are not there in the profession, are they hearing or are they aware of what you are actually doing to make your impact in the global economy? Yeah, so just create a solution that cuts across all boundaries.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you very much for the wonderful presence. We were hoping that next time we'll have you again.
At this point, I'm looking at you as a presenter. Look at how you're as if you're in KIT. Thank you, Johnny.
It's all right. It's all right. Thank you very much, sir. We do appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening until we get the chance to talk again like this. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're still on to